Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 8 math. So you can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 8 and then click on view all lessons. So there you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter integers, right? So what do you know about the integers? You have already worked on the chapter integers earlier in grade 7 and grade 6. So, what do you know about integers? Please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well, right? So, integers are the number that includes positive numbers, negative numbers, and zero, right? Integers includes positive numbers. You can note down the definitions. Negative numbers and zero, right? No fractions and decimals allowed, right? So here is the examples of the integers: 0, positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. These are the integers, right? Why we use positive and negative numbers, right? So sometimes we have a scenarios that can be represented by either positive or negative numbers, right? So whenever you have to represent an increase profit, they are always represented by the positive numbers. Positive numbers represents increases or profits, right? And you can use negative numbers to represent decreases or loss, decreases, reductions, or loss, right? For example, let's just do some of the examples, right? Okay, for example, the temperature is increased by 5 degrees Celsius. How do you represent? Positive number or negative number? That is an increase, right? It would be represented by the 5 degrees Celsius, right? Then you have reduction of two plates. That is a reduction means reduced. That would be represented by the negative number, right? Let's just see how do we represent the integers on number line, right? Here is the number line. Here is the 0. On the right hand side of the 0, you have all positive numbers. And on the left hand side of the number line, you have all negative numbers, right? Positive numbers on the right hand side, the numbers are growing, right? Like each next number is greater than the previous one. Right after 5, you have 6. 6 is greater than 5. After 6, you have 7. 7 is greater than 6, right? On the left hand side, the numbers are getting smaller and smaller. As you are moving far from 0, the numbers are getting smaller and smaller. Right after negative 5, you have negative 6. And negative 6 is less than the previous number, negative 5. Negative 7 is less than negative 6. As you're moving far from 0, the numbers are getting smaller and smaller. So negative 4 is much smaller than negative 1, right? You have negative 6. Negative 6 is much smaller than negative 2 because negative 6 is far from negative 2, right? So that's how you represent the number on the number line. Then you have absolute values and opposite integers. Now let's just see how do we compare integers. So when comparing integers, keep this very important point in your mind. See, negative numbers are less than 0, right? And they are always smaller. Hello. Okay, you can hear me now. And also you can see the whiteboard now. Hello. Okay. So this is the situation when you are comparing a negative and a positive number. So negative numbers are always less than 0, right? You can see the board now probably. 0 is always greater than the negative numbers. And when you're comparing two negative numbers, for example, you are comparing negative 8 and negative 2. So just look at the position. Negative 2 is here, just 2 points away from 0, right? And negative 8 is 8 points away from 0. So negative 8 is much farther than negative 2. So negative 8 is less than negative 2, right? Negative 10 is less than negative 1 because negative 1 is just 1 point away from 0 and negative 10 is 10 point away from 0, right? So as keep this very important line in your mind. As you are moving far from 0 on the negative side, the numbers are getting smaller and smaller, right? You also, when you're ordering the numbers, when you order the integers, what you are going to do, for example, you're given some numbers, you have to arrange them from least to greatest. How do you arrange? The numbers are 4, 1, negative 2, 3, negative 1, 0. How do you arrange them? You have to arrange them from least to greatest. So you have two negative numbers. First, you have to see which is the least one. So negative 2 is the least one. First of all, you have to write negative 2, then negative 1, then 0, then positive numbers 1, 3, and 4, right? So comparing and ordering, that is exactly the same, right? So be careful when comparing and when ordering. One, you can understand like this: the negative number, the greater the number is, it is always the smaller one, right? Okay, then I think we have absolute values also. Yes, absolute values and opposite integers. Now let's just see what are the absolute values. So absolute values are always positive. You can represent like this: minus 4. That is the sign of the absolute value. So the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. The absolute value of negative number is always a positive number, and if it is a positive number, that is exactly the same. The absolute value of a negative and a positive number is always a positive number, right? So the definition of the absolute value is absolute values are always the positive values, right? And the other one is opposite values. So opposite values are exactly the same values with the opposite sign, right? You can say the same value on the opposite side of the 0, right? Let's just start with the practice questions now. Let's just start with the lesson. We have always discussed all of the lessons. Now let's just do practice questions from the lessons, right? Let's just start with the first one: integers on number lines. This chapter is very easy. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Type the missing number. Which number is missing? The missing number is between negative 2 and negative 4. So which number is it? Between 2 and 4 there is negative 3, right? That means the missing number is negative 3. You can write the answers in the chat box if you already know the answers. Okay, type the missing number. So which number is missing? Which is the next number right after negative 23? The numbers are decreasing, right? It is. I'm waiting for the answers from your side. Negative 22, right? Because the numbers are decreasing, so the next number would be negative 22. Type the missing number. So which is the missing number between negative 58 and negative 60? The missing number is negative 59, right? The missing number is negative 59. Type the missing number. So which is the next number after 4? The next number is, that would be 5. The correct option is 5. Type the missing number. So which is the next number? Very good. That would be negative 21, right? Okay, type the missing number. So which is the next number? The correct option is 4. It is 4. Type the missing number. Which is the next one? Yes, it is. Very good. Negative 92 it is. Type the missing number. So which number is missing? It is. Yes, very good. That would be 2. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just move on to next lesson, right? And the next lesson is graphing integers. Let's just see how do we graph integers. Oh, let's just skip this lesson. We don't have practice questions for this lesson, so let's just skip this lesson. The next one is absolute values and integer and opposite integers. Let's just start with the practice questions. We've already discussed what is the absolute value and what is the opposite value. So, what is the opposite of negative 4? So, which is the correct option? The correct option is the same number with the opposite sign, right? That means on the other side of the 0, it would be positive 4. The opposite of negative 4 is positive 4. Very good. What is the absolute value of negative 8? The correct option is, yes, it is. Absolute values are always the positive values, so it would be positive 8. What is the absolute value of 5? Absolute value of 5 is 5, right? What is the absolute value of negative 9? That would be positive 9, right? The correct option is 9. What is the absolute value of 4? Yes, that is 4. The correct option is 4. What is the absolute value of 6? The correct option is, yes, it is 6. Very good. What is the absolute value of negative 1? It is positive 1, right? What is absolute value of 2? It is positive 2. Very good. What is the opposite of 10? Yes, the opposite of 10 is negative 10, it is, right? The same number with the opposite sign, actually, right? That would be negative 10. What is the opposite of negative 8? That would be positive 8, right? What is the opposite of 9? Yes, that is negative 9. Very good. What is the absolute value of 7? 7 it is, right? What is the opposite of 4? That would be negative 4. Okay, we are done with the lesson. Let's just start with the next one. The next one is compare and order integers. Now we're going to see how do we compare and order integers. Let's just start with the test questions. Which sign makes the statement true? 2 and negative 1, which is the correct option? Positive numbers are always greater than negative numbers, right? 2 is greater than 1. Which sign makes the statement true? Negative 15 and negative 8. Which is the correct option? Negative 15 is far from 0 than negative 8, right? That means negative 15 is less than negative 8. Negative 15 is less than negative 8. Which words make the statement true? 16 and negative 16, which is the correct option? Yes, 16 is a positive number and positive numbers are always greater than negative numbers. So 16 is greater than negative 16, right? The correct option is 16 is greater than negative 16. Yes, negative numbers are always less than the positive numbers. So negative 6 is less than 10, right? Which sign makes the statement true? Which is the correct option? Negative 9 is, yes, negative 9 is less than negative 7. Which sign makes the statement true? Yes, negative numbers are always smaller than the positive numbers. So negative 8 is less than 5. 7 and negative 7. 7 is greater than negative 7, right? Positive numbers are always greater than negative numbers. Yes, 2 is greater than 0. The correct option is greater. Negative 1 is less than 0 because that is a negative number, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just start with the next lesson, that is integer inequalities with absolute values, right? Okay, so we have inequalities that involves the um, absolute values, right? Okay, let's just start with the first one. Absolute value of negative 1 and absolute value of 1. Which is the correct option? Are they greater, less, or equal? Absolute values of negative 1 is positive 1, right? And the positive 1 is always positive 1. So that means they both are exactly equal, right? So the correct option is they both are exactly equal. Very good. What do you mean by I didn't see the negative sign? What do you want to ask? Can you please repeat your question? Which sign makes the statement true? Absolute value of 0 is 0, and absolute value of negative 2 is positive 2, right? That means 0 is greater than positive 2. That is 0 is greater than positive 2. Greater it is. Oh, I selected the wrong option. It is greater. Option 1 be the correct option. Okay, which sign makes the statement true? Which is the correct option? It would be greater, right? Because absolute value of 7 is 7 and 7 is greater than negative 9. Which sign makes the statement true? Which is the correct option? The correct option is absolute value of 3 is 3 and 3 is greater than 7. I selected the wrong sign, that is greater. right? Okay, which sign makes the statement true? 0 and absolute value of negative 8. 0 is absolute value of negative 8 is positive 8. So obviously then 0 is less than negative 8, right? That would be less. Which sign makes the statement true? Greater it is, right? Because absolute value of negative 4 is 4 and 4 is greater than 3. So they are greater. Which sign makes the statement true? Absolute value of negative 9 is 9 and 9 is greater than 5. The correct option is greater. Which sign makes the statement true? Yes, that would be the less one. Very good. Which sign makes the statement true? Yes, again, absolute value of 4 is less than negative 5. Greater? Oh, 4 is positive number. So yes, positive numbers are always greater than negative numbers, right? Absolute value of 9 and absolute value of 5. Both of the values are positive, right? So 9 is greater than 5. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we are working on grade 8 math. We are working on each chapter in teachers. The lessons we have covered today are integers on number line, graphing integers, absolute values and opposite integers, compare and order integers, and integer inequalities with absolute values, right? So please make sure before the next session you have to complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. This is your homework before the next session, right? So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday, 5 to 9, right? Or either you can join me in the interactive session that would be daily from 4 to 5 and from 9 to 10, right? So if you have any questions, you can please ask. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So please ask if you have any question. No questions?